That was Notre Dame's first home league win in 354 days since, in fact, they beat Georgia Tech last February here in South Bend. Jose Alvarado feeds inside. James Banks, who kicks it out. Alvarado, 3-0 Georgia Tech. Jackets are without Michael DeVoe again today. He is not expected to play. Presumably will miss his third straight game with a bruised foot suffered late in the Virginia game. And the Georgia Tech defense forces an early turnover, G-Man. That's not something Notre Dame does often, turn the ball over.
Yeah, and it's been a big problem, you know, for them for most of the year, and it's something that they've been working on every day.
Moses Wright has developed really well under Josh Pastner. Here's Khalid Moore to the corner. 3-ball for Jordan Usher. Wouldn't fall. The rebound for Jawan Durham, who grabs about 6 boards a game. First touch for John Mooney, the big man from Orlando. Nearly another turnover. Good pressure, swatting it away. Jose Alvarado, coming off a week ago, the game against NC State, where he took over late and had 9 steals against the Wolfpack, including the game clincher in the final moments. Rex Pfluger from the corner ties it up. 3 apiece, 90 seconds in. Usher pulls up, and Mooney unable to grab the rebound. How often do you say that? Put back up and in by Moses Wright. So Mooney comes up empty. Wright gets the stick back. So many close games between these two teams through the years. Here's Mooney making a run to the basket. And it's just out of bounds to the Jackets. John Mooney, 6'9", 245 from Mike Brey. I think Mooney and Brey are surprised with how John has developed. Mike Brey told Notre Dame battling against this Georgia Tech zone, and the rebound for Banks. Georgia Tech did not play a lot of zone 2.5 weeks ago. Only 1 possession, in fact, and TJ Gibbs hit a 3. Mike Brey was curious how much zone he would see today against Josh Pastner's team, who's in his 4th year coaching Georgia Tech. Usher spins in the lane, can't convert. Pfluger the rebound. Up ahead, Gibbs to Mooney, inside. And Moses Wright called for the foul, hitting Mooney on the side of the head. Well, we had the opportunity yesterday to observe as Kelly Tripucka addressed the Fighting Irish, and he was praising everybody's strengths, and then he pointed to John Mooney and said, "You're not a very good free throw shooter." And Mooney kind of nodded his head and agreed. But the fact is, over the past 5 games, Mooney's shooting north of 80% from the line. And there's two smooth makes. John Mooney, by the way, begins the day just 19 points shy of 1,000. On the verge of becoming the 64th member of the Fighting Irish 1,000-point club. Alvarado's three wouldn't go. Banks' rebound was turned away on his putback try by Durham. Pfluger fakes it. It was half of a pass, half of a shot. I think he was looking for Durham on the alley-oop. Khalid Moore to the basket, won't go. Rebound pinballs, and it's controlled by Prentice Hub. Hub was a superstar in Atlanta. 20 of his 25 points coming in the second half of that comeback win. 78-74. And the rebound for Banks. Pulls down nearly 8 boards a game for Georgia Tech. 5-all, 4 minutes in. Usher for 3. And the rebound smacked away from Mooney. That'll take us to a timeout. Just over 4 minutes gone. First half. Another close one brewing between Georgia Tech and Notre Dame.
Very well.
How many steals you have that night?
I wasn't a big steal guy.
Probably blocked your fair share of shots, I would guess.
I wasn't a big steal guy or a big assist guy.
There's his first steal of the day right on cue. Alvarado, nice dish to Khalid Moore, who missed the layup. Right, the stick back won't go. And the foul going on Tech.
And I'm going to apologize, Evan, to the audience if I say it's anything that's redundant that you covered while I was in purgatory.
It's okay. I mean, you were next to me all the time. It was some of your best work, quite frankly. You didn't make any mistakes.
That was Marcel for 5 minutes.
Charlie Chaplin.
Yeah, exactly.
Mooney gets an early breather. Nick Jogo, who played 11 minutes on Wednesday after not playing at all the previous 3 games, gets some early minutes as well off Mike Bray's bench. Dane Goodwin has made his first appearance too. Jogo takes a shot, comes up short.
And Evan, both teams off to a very slow shooting start, which is not unusual. I really never liked noon games of player. It just, throws off your whole preparation, and a lot of times you're slow to get into a rhythm.
Both coaches said they prefer noon games to 9 p.m. games, though.
Oh, yeah, I would go there as well. Jordan
Usher with a flush. Tech had missed their last 7 shots before that Usher slam.
Transfer from Southern Cal, and he's been coming on.
From the corner, Goodwin kicks it cross court. Blocking foul is going to go on Parham.
Well, here's a look, and big guys usually aren't the best passers in the world, but right, there was nobody there on the weak side. Good cut, nice bounce pass, easy catch, easy finish.
Moses Wright averages less than 1 assist per game. Picks up the dime on the slam by Usher. Here's Gibbs at the other end for 3.
Well, for Notre Dame, Hub and Gibbs have to have good games. And it's ironic that Hub has not played well here at home, but he has been a monster on the road.
Yeah, you're flabbergasted by those numbers.
His home games, he scored 8, 8, and 5 points. And he's averaging 24 points on 5 road games.
Evan Cole lets it fly. Another offensive rebound for Moses Wright, and he sticks it back up and in.
Well, it's not the biggest Notre Dame team that's out there right now. Krzyzewski needs to get in there on the glass with another bomb.
Back-to-back threes for the Irish. This time Pfluger connects. He's got a quick 6.
Mike Bray told us yesterday, we have to score. We have to get to at least 70. Preferably 80 if we can.
Well, there are ways that these two teams are similar, but offensively they couldn't be more different. That's another offensive rebound. 5 offensive rebounds, 6 second chance points. We're not even 7 minutes into the game.
And their offensive rebounds were, nobody's even near them or getting a body on them.
John Mooney, second leading rebounder in the country, is on the bench right now. holding a towel to his face.
Mike Bray's just trying to get him some first half, a breather.
Quick shot, Dane Goodwin. I beg your pardon, that's Nate Laszewski who puts it in. I liked how Mike Bray said Laszewski came out hunting his shot against Wake Forest on Wednesday.
Well, they want him. They've been pleading with him to be more aggressive as the season has gone along, and he's finally listened.
Well, the floodgates have opened here. All of a sudden, back and forth we go. Both teams scoring at will.
Yeah, you get 8 field goal attempts for the Irish. 7 were threes, and they've got 4 made.
Notre Dame is 0 for 1 from 2 so far. Meanwhile, Georgia Tech takes as few twos as anyone in the as few threes, I should say, as anyone in the league. And Goodwin, the hoop and the harm for the sophomore from Ohio.
They're going to have to play man-to-man more.
That's what they did 2 weeks ago. Goodwin to the line, too strong. A rare free throw miss for Goodwin. So it stays a 3-point game. And Alvarado fouled on the dribble by Prentice Hub, who picks up his first foul. In fact, that's the first personal foul on any member of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish team, and that's not unusual. Josh Pastner stresses we need to shoot more free throws than your opponent. That's tough to do against Notre Dame.
They don't foul.
No.
They do as good a job as anybody in the country in playing without fouling.
Open look. Usher passes it up and draws contact on Mooney going to the bucket.
Well, Laszewski, that was a poor closeout. He went flying past his man, and that's what opened up the drive inside.
Jordan Usher to the line. 82%. 1-point game here at Purcell Pavilion on Kelly Tripucka Day.
Really great to visit with him yesterday. We played his last year. I was traded down to Charlotte, and we were teammates for half a season. And some good memories. We've been friends ever since.
You guys have quite a history. It's hard to believe you could be friends after what happened in 1978. He reminded you of that. Well, you reminded him.
And he had a much better pro career than I did, so things have a way of evening out.
They do. Alvarado kicks it. Usher unable to stick it. Mooney the rebound.
Mooney a lot more athletic than he's given credit for. Really runs the floor well.
Goodwin to the bucket. This guy's come along nicely.
Yeah, and I think that he's 41% from 3, so they're going to try to drive him off of the three-point line if possible. Make him score in the paint.
Goodwin basically doubled his scoring output from his freshman year to his sophomore year. He's already scored more total points this year than last.
There aren't many players that I've seen that play under Mike Bray that don't get better over their course of 4 years staying here.
There is a pattern to that. In his 20th year, he's the 3rd coach in Notre Dame history to lead the Irish for 20 seasons.
Yeah, he's got quite a pedigree with playing for Morgan Wooden at DeMatha. He was on Mike Krzyzewski's staff for a few years, and then started at Delaware, and then came here.
He thought he'd be a high school teacher and coach, and he's had a much bigger, better career than that. Mooney. He's quick on his feet.
Yep. And second jump was quick, too.
Wednesday here against Wake Forest was his 100th career game. And with that slam, he's just 15 points away from 1,000. Wright hangs in the air. Mooney, a good job not fouling, but Banks a better job on the glass. And Georgia Tech will not get a third try. G-Man, do you remember the game that you picked up your 1,000-point?
And here's the look. I mean, the rim wide open inside in the lane. It was a great look. Just no help from the back. Good spacing by Notre Dame.
You remember the game when you scored your 1,000th point? Was that a big deal?
I remember. Well, that was in my sophomore year. So I don't
it was just another day. It was a Saturday. Mooney has the mismatch to the corner. Leschewski unable to knock it down. Five points so far for Alvarado. And in the middle of the paint, Moses right for two.
A good flash inside. Mooney didn't step up, and you can see Notre Dame sitting in that zone. They're challenging the Yellow Jackets to shoot from three, but they're getting into the paint area pretty effectively.
Gibbs launches. It's wide left from the start. Nice tip. Pfluger directed the ball to Mooney. A good scorekeeper will give the rebound to Pfluger there, yes?
Yeah, or at least an assist, but that he gives them their swagger and their grit. He does all the dirty stuff, and and that time Mooney is the recipient of it.
Foul was on Banks, his first, and Mooney back to the line where he sunk a pair earlier.
He really struggled early in the year, but he's come on and straightened things out over his last 5 games.
22 of his last 26 from the line, including the 3 for 3 so far today.
And you can see now he's just getting up over 60%, so you can see where he started from in the first 10 games.
Five-point lead for the Fighting Irish.
A little token pressure that time by Notre Dame, and you never know with the ball handling of Georgia Tech if you might come up even in that token pressure with a turnover. Wow.
Very deep three, and Bubba Parham buries it.
He was a good 10 feet behind the new three-point line.
He can score from anywhere. He averaged more than 21 a game at VMI last year. Playing in the Southern Conference. He's from the Atlanta area, from Snellville. Get out your tape measure. Bubba Parham, a deep.
Fight that, and it's a 2-point game.
11 times this year, Notre Dame has made at least double-digit threes in a game.
Well, Tech hanging in there. They've got 2 made threes in this game as well.
Georgia Tech only averages 5 made threes a game, half as many as Notre Dame. It's like they're playing a different sport.
Well, Hub was basically fronting Alvarado on that possession, keeping the ball out of his hands.
You like that strategy?
Yeah. If you can make somebody else make a decision out on the floor, absolutely. You can see right now, I mean, he's trying to deny him the inbounds pass.
Unable to do so, and Alvarado knocks it down. 7 for Jose.
Good use of the screen that time and a very quick release.
First tie since it was 0-0, 22 all. Mooney from the elbow.
Nice flash to the high post, and that was a really good find by Durham too, because he had some pressure on him.
8 points in 9 minutes here in the first half for Mooney. Banks sets the screen, pretty good one. Parham slithering to the bucket. Pfluger had to switch onto him.
Yeah, Cole is more of a screener out on the floor. They'll run a lot of high post stuff off screens.
And a good take there, Moses Wright, 6'9" junior.
I'll tell you what, the defense off the dribble has not been there for Notre Dame because Georgia Tech has been able to get to the rim, even their frontline players off the dribble.
That's a great point. Cross lane pass, Pfluger to Mooney, who is swatted by Banks. Alvarado found himself 1-on-3, circles the wagons, keeps the dribble alive.
Steve Nash like there, good, still got the handle.
Nash did that better than anybody, except maybe Bob Cousy. John Mooney has shown he can hit the outside shot. Jawan Durham, tough fadeaway.
Yeah, they'll give him that shot, even though he's shooting 55%.
What's Mike Brey thinking? Is he okay with that shot, or does he want that ball to keep moving?
I would think he'd want to keep it moving. You know, although they did basically clear out a space for him.
Alvarado feeling it.
And that's, you know, and Pfluger's got some blood on him on his elbow.
Yes, he does.
But he played, that's about as good defensively as he could have played him. He was just beaten by a better shot. Here's the inbound play, and a lot of things, he does it off the dribble. You get that high screen right there. Pfluger a little late, and you know, you just want to get the hand up high and try to bother the shot.
And from the day Jose Alvarado set foot on Georgia Tech's campus, he had some spunk and some confidence.
Well, playing in New York City.
Long two for Prentice Hub, his first bucket.
You have to. And of course, Georgia Tech, quite a lineage of point guards throughout their history. Under Bobby Cremins. And
there is a fan in the building today wearing a Georgia Tech Stephon Marbury jersey. Alvarado, with a hand in his face, comes up short. John Mooney secures his third rebound of the game. 26 apiece, 4.5 minutes to play, and Notre Dame turns it over for the 5th time on the traveling violation.
Well, let's see if, you know, let's talk about the last 4 minutes of the first half. And these teams have, you know, nobody's really separated. Let's see if one of them can go on to a run into halftime.
Throughout their ACC schedules, there hasn't been a whole lot of separation. I mean, you look at January for Notre Dame. Mind-boggling, the number of close games, a couple possessions here and there, and 3 and 6 could be 6 and 3 or better. Evan Cole, look what he found.
Yeah, that's basically where he's going to score his points. Offensive rebounds, drives inside.
With about 26 on the shot clock, Laszewski fired. Ironed unkind.
Get a trademark violation from Brando on that one.
He gave me permission. We were texting yesterday.
Okay.
He says hello, by the way. Enjoyed watching you and Tim on Tuesday. Clemson, was it?
Yeah, great game.
Yes, indeed. James Banks with a slam.
18-4 points in the paint, Georgia Tech against Notre Dame.
That's what they do to people. Whistle on the rebound action. The ball is going to stay with Notre Dame.
Tech does not have a deep bench, but he's got 9 points already in the game.
Kenny Anderson once had 8 steals in a game. There's 3 from the wing. TJ Gibbs. Kenny Anderson, I was told, retweeted the tweet about Alvarado breaking his record, so presumably that means he was supportive of Jose erasing him from the record book.
Well, I think he's had it long enough.
Yes,
you know? I mean, that's...
Your teammate Kenny Denard, still #1 in the ACC, steals in a game. Alvarado pivoting, spinning like a whirling dervish. He banks it in.
Well, that was a move that its center would be proud of. A couple of pump fakes inside and finishing off the glass.
Put that one on a fundamental reel about how to use your pivot foot. Quick trigger, Goodwin rattles it in.
And that was a good answer by Notre Dame. You know, Georgia Tech got up by 5 at one point. Looks like they were going to go on a little bit of a run with the Irish coming back and evening things up with the 3 ball.
7 ties now in this first half. 4 lead changes. At this end of the floor, Georgia Tech 6 of its last 8 shooting the ball right from the outside. And on the rebound action,
I think they may be calling on Mooney.
They got it on Goodwin instead.
Goodwin.
Just Dane's first, but it gives another precious possession for Josh Pastner.
And this is another thing, too, that Notre Dame does. Well, they don't foul. I mean, it's rare that they pick up a foul on either end of the floor.
Mike Bray on the Notre Dame bench just applauded and said, nice call, ref. He never complains about the officiating.
Well, first half, you don't want to burn it. You know. Second half, the jacket may come off.
Khalid Moore perseveres, hangs tough. Goodwin emerges. Mooney ahead of the pack, wide open inside.
I tell you, really, he runs rim to rim as well as any big in the country. That was a great find inside. Josh Pastner not happy with the defensive transition. Well, here you look. They're all starting at the same place, and all of a sudden, you don't see Mooney. He's running out of the play, and there's nobody back.
We beat our camera down the floor.
Yeah.
Puts the Irish back in front. Hey, coming up at the half, really cool ceremony. Kelly Tripucka will be honored, inducted into the Notre Dame Ring of Honor. They only induct one person each year, and this is Kelly's season. He's got tons of his old teammates here to enjoy it with him, which felt really special.
Yeah, you know what? Mike Bray came over and said when he first got here a long time ago, you know, there weren't many banners up commemorating players. There's Digger Phelps is up there as well, and came and gave me one of his Sharpies.
Yeah. Tradition of coming to South Bend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Account for that. You got to leave room in your carry-on luggage to take the Sharpie home. Closing in on a minute to play in this first half.
I usually use them as Christmas gifts.
Sure. They're highly coveted, precious items from Digger. Alvarado around the corner.
Gibbs bailed him out completely. He was not going to make that shot.
TJ didn't like the call. Let's take another look.
See, look at him. You know, at least you're making him go left, and that's what you have to do. You got a better shot there, but he was behind. He was almost behind the basket.
Here's a message from Myrtle Beach Golf Trail. Someone threw something on the floor, and a warning that any further...
Yeah, technical.
Yeah.
They can call it technical. Going for Alvarado, you know, the other thing about a point guard being a good free throw shooter, 82% for him in the year, and so that's a big key at the end of the game.
Good first half. He's got 12 points. John Mooney has 10, the only member of the Irish in double figures.
That's 1 point above his average for the year on a game.
This time it's Georgia Tech's turn to be frustrated, as Dane Goodwin will get back to the line. Foul on Bubba Parham. That's his second. Goodwin double figures each of his last 5 ball games,
averaging forces to choose from down in the Myrtle Beach area as well.
It is wonderful. Timeout called with 42.5 seconds remaining in the first half. Goodwin gives the Irish a 3-point lead. This is one of 6 games.
He goes to other arenas and sees the banners of the players up in the rafters, and he really pushed to start that.
Kelly Tripucka won 92 games in his 4 years at Notre Dame. But he did not get a win over Duke in the semifinals of the national tournament.
Well, he didn't swear at me like Digger did before the game.
I think he did. You just didn't hear him. Banks with a left hand, no. Hit by Usher, wouldn't go. Shot clock off now, 10 seconds. One of the rare moments of the half where the Irish slow it down. Huff looks to attack, step back 3. Rebound deflected and time expires.
Well, He had Goodwin wide open for a 3, too, and Goodwin not too happy about not getting a pass.
Hey, Mike's made it better. My old teammate, my good friend from a long time, to be here and doing this game, it's an honor.
Well, and, you know, the game in '78 was such an honor for our team, both of our teams, just to get there and to think of the other great teams and players over there. And we darn near gave the game away.
You're right.
Doug Williams misses that jump shot to tie the game.
Yeah, there's no question it was disappointing for us. We've been playing so well in the tournament back in '78, had a terrible first half, but we got back in the game and close, but close doesn't count. But it's, you know, Mike, it's so hard to get to that point, let alone win it. And it's still the only time Notre Dame's been to the Final Four.
Well, and you come into the pros and just keep right on rolling. I mean, you were one of the best pure scorers in the league during that time.
You know what? I kind of blossomed. I became an even better player because in the pros, a little more freedom. I obviously played with some great players like Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars, and it just fit my game. I was able to run and move, and the versatility to play inside and outside, beat people off the dribble and get to the foul line. That was special, and that's how I was able to do what I was doing.
You know, we've seen each other over the years, luckily, and how have you enjoyed your broadcasting, what you've done in that profession?
It's been great. I mean, the broadcasting, I've done it for over 25 years since I finished playing, and TV and radio and pros and college, and it keeps it close to the game. The game, as you know, Mike, has changed an awful lot since when we played.
Well, you got a center shooting threes.
Well, you can shoot it, but you would eventually end up developing that game to be able to play that way. But yeah, it's not a big man's game anymore, and it's wide open, volume shooting, a lot of threes, and you know, so it's a little different than when we played, but I wouldn't take back for when we played.
I want to ask you one more question. Your impressions of Mike Brey and his tenure here.
One of the best. He, in my mind, 20 years at Notre Dame. It's very difficult for him to recruit, but Mike somehow finds a way. The kids love playing for him. The system is great. He's one of those guys, in my mind, that gets it. And those type of guys are like the Tom Izzos and the Jay Wrights. I put Mike Brey up there, and he has to deal with lesser talent, but he always finds a way to get a good team that plays well together.
We're here with Kelly Tripucka, who was honored today here at the Joyce Center. Three-time All-American for the Fighting Irish. John Mooney, same spot. Different result this time, the rebound for Usher. I'm curious to ask you about the emotions of seeing all your teammates again, because frankly, I see the look on your face as Alvarado scores. It's like you're in college again.
Yeah, it is. You know, we had a special group. We don't get to see each other a lot. I was here a couple of years ago for the 40th anniversary of the '78 Final Four team. But we keep in contact through group chats and stuff like that, you know, texting. And whenever you get a chance to see these guys, look, life goes by quick. You know, you guys both know that. And it goes by real quickly. And it's always a joy to see those guys as we get older.
Our Toyota Let's Go places, Kelly Tripucka addressing the team yesterday.
Well, and obviously, your comments to they're working out. He's 4-4 today from the free throw line.
Well, you know, I think the kid's a very underrated player. I think he's getting some recognition now. He's a great rebounder and can score. But I just don't like to see the 55% from the free throw line when he's got a good touch. And that tells me that it's mental, and he doesn't want to get great guard play. Duck Williams and Rich Branning, Orlando Woolidge was just, you know, kind of getting started. You know, we just had a real solid team. Problem is we had so many guys, and Digger tried to play them all, and that sometimes hurts you as well.
Mooney up and under. Well, Mooney, you know, the three-point shot, and now shows he can put it on the deck as well. You guys had, I think you had 8 pros on that team, if I'm not mistaken.
Mike, during the 4 years I was here, you know, from all the way through, that converts a lot of classes. We had 14 guys drafted. 11 of those guys played in the NBA at one time or another.
Yep.
So that's not something you hear about, particularly in this one and done age, as you know.
An era when guys stayed for 4 years.
And that's unfortunate for some of these guys. I think they were just better, but again, we had to sacrifice individually some of these guys to be a better team, and sometimes you got to do that for the betterment of the team.
All right, for a minute or two, you take my job, work with Evan, make some calls out here.
It'd be an honor.
G-Man's going to go get some popcorn. We've seen some good old-fashioned pivots today in the game. Alvarado at one end and James Banks inside slams it in.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's got some big guys inside. If you don't get a body on them, you're going to be in trouble. And they're good putback flush there by Georgia Tech. But Notre Dame, again, trying to run a lot of screen and rolls and pop-outs for their big men. Always ball movement, and if they keep that ball movement and slip right there, they're going to get opportunities.
Banks called for his third foul with 16:31 to go. Georgia Tech, Kelly, has 13 offensive rebounds, 14 second chance points.
Much bigger team. That's the problem. And when you're playing against a bigger team, you got to make sure, as we get a look at the replay there, Mooney going aggressively to the line, you got to get body on people. Your guys have to come down and help your rebound. But if you allow this team to get second and third chance opportunities, you're going to have a tough time. There you go. Mooney, keep making those free throws.
I'm surprised he didn't take a look over and point, say, in your face, Trapuka.
We mentioned that as well up in the suite up there.
I like your message to all the guys about find what you're good at. Don't try to do too much. Just do your job.
There's no question. Do your job. But again, some nights you might have to pick up the slack and do something else. But if you know each other and trust your teammates, do your job, you can be successful as long as you believe.
One thing we haven't mentioned as we wrap it up here with Kelly Trapuka. You're a legacy kid here at Notre Dame. Obviously, your dad was a great football quarterback. I imagine you were a big Notre Dame fan growing up.
Without a doubt, we had to. We had no choice. My father used to play the Notre Dame Victory March on Thanksgiving Day because our high school rivalry game. So we knew the words. We knew everything about it. My father always wanted one of us to go. It ended up having to be me. But I have no regrets. My dad played 4 years here at Notre Dame with some unbelievable players, 4 undefeated seasons, and 2 national championships. Pretty good.
And that's not bad. Not bad at all. Alvarado's 3 rims out. Parham keeps it alive. And Wright is going to get to...
I've honored him in this way.
How appropriate is it on Kelly Trapuka Day that we come back and the score is 44 to 44?
I tell you what, and he was left unprotected in that expansion draft, and the Hornets snatched him up, and I believe he led them in scoring.
22 a game?
22 a game in his first season, in their first year there.
Moses Wright says, I've had enough of this Trapuka talk. It's no longer 44 all. Jackets by 1. 2 teams that have played so many close games in the month of January. Notre Dame, their last 5 losses by just 12 points. Pfluger draws the foul inside, and it will go on Moses Wright. That is his 3rd personal. Last 5 ACC games for Mike Brey, losses by 1, 5, 3, 2, and 1.
Yeah, and you can't, as a team, you can't let that doubt creep in if you're in a close game, you know, and this one looks like it's headed that way. You know, neither team has been able to separate, so you've got to get that confidence.
As a player, you're 12-8, you've had all those close losses. Do you think we could be 17-3 or 16-4?
You know what, Evan? I don't think you can't live in the past, because there are games that are going to happen that you're going to win that you probably shouldn't have won.
Right.
So it tends to even out. You know, they've had some injuries and things to deal with, but you know, you have to really put that behind you and you know, find those 1 or 2 guys who will step up.
Evan Cole swatted by the rim. He was set to detonate, and he came up short. And Moses Wright just picked up his 4th foul with 14:53 to go. And a decision for Josh Pastner.
Well, Banks is going to come back in, and
nice play.
Yeah, well, he unfortunately took off a little bit too far away from the basket. See, I mean, you know, and that's, again, go up and dunk with 2 hands. Don't try to make at the highlight reel, you know, and he got it with 1 hand and just got hung up on the rim.
That would have made the highlight reel, though. No. Not anymore. Now the blooper reel, perhaps. Pfluger, a little shake and bake.
Notre Dame really has the court space.
Dennis Hub has been quiet today.
Well, and especially with Leschewski in the game as a 3-point shooter, you're not really playing with a true post out there. You got 5 guys out on the perimeter, and they're just doing a lot of drive and pitch.
You know, Hub was 1 of 11 against Wake on Wednesday. He's 1 for 5 today. His home games. Just can't find the range at Purcell Pavilion. TJ Gibbs on the other hand with a nice move. Gibbs is a senior. Today's his 125th game for Notre Dame. 14-15 to play. Irish by 3.
Almost got the 5-second count.
Alvarado's done a good job protecting the ball today. Rex Pfluger called for the reach. You know, in 15 of their 21 games, G-Man, Georgia Tech has turned it over more than their opponent. Jackets have only turned it 3 times today.
Yeah, and usually when the ball goes down, that means it was mostly ball and it's not a foul. So when it goes up in the air, it means you clipped his hand somehow.
Banks surrounded by 4 Fighting Irish defenders. Khalid Moore. Lost it, recovers. Clock at 5. He kicks it out. Alvarado with the clock winding down. Can't finish, and Leschewski the rebound.
Pretty good recovery by Georgia Tech defensively.
Yes, indeed. And Banks got a piece of Goodwin's layup from behind. Alvarado racing, hanging in the air. Another blocking foul. It's on Leschewski.
Here's the look. I mean, you're all alone. You can't in that situation. You've got to keep him out of the baseline, force him middle, and then on the break, Alvarado just so fast with the basketball up the floor.
James Banks second in the ACC in block shots, trailing only Manny Bates of NC State. Here's Mooney back into the ball game. Okay, this game has been played in a 9-point window so far, Mike. Georgia Tech's largest lead is 4. Notre Dame's largest lead is 5.
Alvarado is the only Georgia Tech player in double figures at 20.
Moses Wright has 9, all in the first half. Pfluger's been an Iron Man for this program, but he dribbled it off his foot. Mooney was there, but the hustle from Usher to come up with a steal, and at the other end, Georgia Tech fights for it back. It's a jump ball. The arrow belongs to Tech.
There's the look, and it's really good. This is right out in the open floor. A terrific play by Usher, and then to get the ball and retain the possession, the chase down from behind. A lot of activity, not a lot of scoring as a result.
And you wonder how the course of this game would be different if Michael DeVoe was available.
16, he's the leading scorer at 16 points a game.
4th in the ACC in minutes per game, about 35 minutes per game when he's played.
So you get into that next man up mentality.
I mean, you said it off the top. Georgia Tech without Jose Alvarado was a completely different team.
Well, and it was a conscious decision, a nice move by Usher there, one of those guys who's stepping up. Sure. To keep DeVoe out today so that this might be the last game he'll miss.
Tied at 48 and a foul.
Assist in the last 2 games so he can make plays. Drive, you saw the defense on that last possession. And here's another young man, Khalid Moore, having to step up. He started the last 2 games instead of DeVoe because of injury.
Ninth straight game in double figures for Gibbs. Good free throw shooting in this game. Georgia Tech 7 of 10. Notre Dame is 13 of 14.
And Mike Bray's got some pretty big size out on the floor right now in that back line, and have to try to clean up the rebounding. Send in that 2-3 zone.
Jogo, Mooney, Laszewski, 6'7", 6'9", 6'10". Evan Cole too strong. Mooney rips it away. Only his 5th rebound today. Got 18 points.
I still say he'll end up with double figures.
From the outside, Mooney for 3. Timeout, Georgia Tech.
21 points, 2 of 4 from 3 for the big fella.
John Mooney, who knows? Maybe he'll have a banner hanging from the rafters one day.
Well, it's really unusual, but there are 3 44s that are up in the rafters with Harangudi, and you know, it's a function of that not having retired their numbers when they played, and then Kelly, you know, Kelly actually started the year after Dantley left.
Wonder who's going to wear 44 next. It's a coveted number. You got to be good. Jordan Usher scored a trip ago. This time dishes. Alvarado, though, unable to finish. And Laszewski clears it away. Under 11 minutes to play in a 3-point game. And John Mooney now with 1,002 points in his Notre Dame career. Pretty amazing. He had 14 points his entire freshman season. Dane Goodwin racking up the points. The all-time leading scorer at Upper Arlington High School in Ohio. Now in double figures today.
And that's the statistic that's starting to draw away or come around for Notre Dame. 8 threes made now in this game. Pardon me, 9. That was the 9th.
9 of 21 now, 43%. 6 points the difference, the largest lead of the game for either side.
I'll take another 3, and Josh Pastner may have to take a timeout.
He did that once, but it hasn't seemed to slow down the Irish offense. Foul on Usher. 21 points, 5 rebounds, taking him over 1,000 in his Notre Dame career. Such a unique player. Came in with little regard. He has become one of the greats for Notre Dame.
15 of 14, Georgia Tech 7 of 10. So those two, the line and the 3-point line.
He's 9-6 all time against Georgia Tech. Looking for his 430th victory as a head coach today. And the free throw rattles in.
Kelly played at Bloomfield High School.
TJ Gibbs at Seton Hall Prep. 8-point game now. I feel like these next few possessions as we enter the 4th quarter of this game are critical for Georgia Tech. We need to find some offense. Good passing. Moore to Banks, and he'll get to the line. Number 2 on Mooney.
Well, and you know, the one number again, I think that's keeping Georgia Tech at least close, and you talked to it, only 3 turnovers in the game, which is well below. They usually have that by the first TV timeout.
Big guy to big guy. What do you think of James Banks?
I like him. He's active. Doesn't have, you know, doesn't have great range. He's only taken 1 3 all year. You know, a little better at the free throw line, but shoots a pretty high percentage and a very good rebounder, a good shot blocker. His issue over the years is that he's been a little foul prone.
Yep. Playing with 3 fouls right now, in fact. Pfluger to Mooney. He's a long 2. And Banks grabs his 6th rebound of the game. Georgia Tech +8 on the boards as a team. +10 in the offensive boards. Wright makes a move on Mooney for 2. Moses Wright, the 2nd yellow jacket in double figures.
Love seeing that jump hook come back into the game for post players.
Bet you do. It's a crafty move. Impossible to block. Here's the fourth foul on Banks.
Yeah, and an unnecessary one, and he was really naked too because they had cleared out the whole side, and it was just Mooney and he banging against each other inside, and when you get those two arms in the back, that's an automatic call.
Mooney trying to stay perfect at the line today, sitting on 21.
They're down in games, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can climb back into this and finish it.
Mooney misses his first free throw, but 8 of 9 is not too shabby.
That was your fault. You mentioned the streak.
Always blame the guy with a headset.
Not exactly wearing a hat.
6-point game, 8:40 to go. Right to the corner, Moore. And Mooney secures rebound number 6. Pfluger zips it to the corner. Notre Dame, everybody on the perimeter opens up the lane for the drive, but Gibbs can't convert.
And no offensive rebounding presence for the Irish on that drive.
Looking for Alvarado. It's good pass, but he could not control it.
Pfluger just stripped him. That does not happen often to Alvarado.
Mooney was calling for it. Instead, the leaner banked it in. TJ Gibbs for 2. Timeout Notre Dame. Did he call bank there, G-Man?
It certainly helped him in that situation. The one.
Yeah, how about that? He had some ACC ties on his staff at William & Mary. Bob Stack was on that Tribe staff. We see a important bucket for Moses Wright and Georgia Tech. Wright's got 13. Alvarado's got 20. The Jackets still trail by 6.
Nice execution coming out of that timeout. As a coach, I always like to see that. Your guys are paying attention.
Pfluger off the dribble.
Got a little size advantage over Alvarado. He can shoot over him.
The captain of the Irish knocks down the fadeaway.
Yeah, he's good 2 or 3 inches taller than him, and even uses that fadeaway to create some separation.
Rex Pfluger on track to become the all-time games played leader at Notre Dame history. If he stays healthy, he'll pass Pat Connaughton on senior night. That'll be his 140th game. From the corner, right, no. Outlet pass ahead to Hub, who finds Mooney on the run.
Second run out he has, and second not great balance defensively by Georgia Tech. They didn't have anybody coming back.
Largest lead of the afternoon for the Fighting Irish.
Both teams 2 timeouts, but this run continues. Josh Pastner may have to burn another one.
Moses Wright has become the go-to guy for the Jackets offense.
That was a big basket for them.
He willed that one to the rim. Lost it, got it back, and stuffed it in. Back to an 8-point game, and at the other end, Mooney answers.
What a versatile game. I mean, who would have thought 4 years ago? I think he's going to be, you know, he went through the process. He didn't go through the process of being looked at by the NBA last year, but he's going to make a team next year, I think.
Mike Bray thought he might go through the process, and John came to his office and basically said, I'm coming back. Yep. And he went straight to the practice gym and got shots up for an hour and a half. Right again. Not this time, but stuck back up and in by Evan Cole. Josh Pastner calls a timeout after the Cole stick back. 8-point game, 5:19 to go. Let's go back to that Mooney play, though. It'll be our Jimmy John's freaky fast play.
Look, again, they all started the same place, but this is just a flat-out sprint up the floor, and he beats all of their bigs for the dunk.
Would you call it Mooney freaky fast?
I think he's faster than most people think. I mean, you know, like I said early in the broadcast, you know, the casual fan under
win February of 1990. Rod Balanis might remember that game. Georgia Tech was a top 10 team and obviously went to the Final Four that year for Bobby Cremins. Our friend and colleague. Closing in on 5 minutes to play. Hub's three wouldn't fall. Bubba Parham leads the charge the other way for Georgia Tech.
You know, if I'm Josh Pastner, I'm going to try to funnel the ball to Hub if he looks at the problems that they've had shooting in this building.
Parham hit one from about 30 feet earlier. This one from 28 or so did not have the same luck. Wide open, Goodwin. Georgia Tech lost him, and Goodwin gets it easy too.
Well, Banks didn't want to pick up the foul, but there's still no excuse for not identifying people behind you.
Overly simplistic to say this, but it feels like the difference in the game is Notre Dame's runouts, whether it's Mooney or just losing guys in transition. There's an offensive foul. Pfluger gripping the basketball tightly after taking the hit from Usher.
Mike Bray loved it. You should have seen the fist pump after that one.
Well, Mike Bray thinks he's got a really intriguing basketball team. I mean, all these close losses, if the Florida State one goes the other way, Boston College, Syracuse, I mean, take your pick. Pfluger inside. Mooney denied, stays with it. You got it.
Well, that's all he's trying to pad that offensive rebounding number.
All part of the plan.
You get a rebound at 2 points.
He's tied a career best with 28, along with 8 rebounds. Alvarado gets a friendly bounce on the three. Jose's got 23. But it brings the Jackets just within 9. Mike Bray, grateful and appreciative.
The threes outrunning the bigs for Georgia Tech, and then also the pump fake, staying after the first guy off the floor for that rebound. That's a nice afternoon's work, and it's not done yet.
9 of 15 from the floor. He's 2 of 4 from 3, and 8 of 9 from the line.
Key thing, that was Georgia Tech's last time out, and Notre Dame is in the double bonus for the rest of it, and they have a foul to give.
Little pull up in the lane. TJ Gibbs, the number 2 scorer for Notre Dame. He's got 16. One of 4 members of the Fighting Irish in double figures.
Yeah, if I'm, they're still in that zone, but I'm really going to lock in on Alvarado and try to make somebody else beat me from the outside. Alvarado, 23 points.
Moses Wright has been a guy who can make some shots. It's his 8th field goal today. He's got 17 points.
See if Notre Dame runs some clock here, get a little more deliberate.
Hey, Moses Wright likes playing Notre Dame. He had 25 against him last year. Scored 16 against him 2.5 weeks ago in Atlanta. Only averages 13 a game. Shot clock down to 6. Mooney fakes it, takes it. Trying to scoop it in without looking at the bucket. If that went in, I think you could just call it off. Here's Alvarado at the other end. And the rebound deflects into the grasp of Goodwin.
He had a good look to it, too. And
Jose's 3 for 6 from 3. Now Notre Dame bleeding some time off the clock. Trying to make it back-to-back home wins. Mooney's 3 rims out. Alvarado battling with Pfluger. Rex wins it. Goodwin's 3. Would have been the dagger.
Yeah, I got to think you got to run clock there. You get the 20 seconds back. And I thought that was a quick shot. They could have gotten down to about 110, make a make.
And instead, Banks a slam at the other end. A 7-point game with minute 22 to go. Alvarado fouls Gibbs. It'll be 2 shots. The drive is presented by Land Rover. Gibbs going to the line, but this guy's really good off the dribble.
Yeah, Again, got inside. Nice pull-up. Didn't want to risk the charge inside. He had the size advantage. And you got a guy at the line shooting 90%. And I got him.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Mike Brey might blame you there.
Yeah. He'll watch the film and text me.
1 of 2. 8-point game. 1:19 left.
And then Notre Dame still has that foul in their pocket before they get put Georgia Tech at the line.
Banks in the right spot at the right time after Usher's miss. 2-possession game. Pfluger almost lost it.
Well, he put the ball down on the floor before he even looked up. Very lucky not to get a turnover.
Josh Pastner calling for a foul, and finally it's given on Pfluger. Moses Wright just fouled out. And Pfluger will shoot 2. 53 seconds left.
Here's a look, and it's a lot of poise. It was a triple team and able to get it over half court.
Worth mentioning, a tie-up would not have changed possession. Notre Dame had the arrow.
Well, and Mike Brey specifically told us yesterday, he says, score, clock, and who has the arrow. That's the last thing he tells the team before they go on the floor in the last minute.
It's a basic part of the information that he will remind his team of in every huddle, especially in late game situations.
Well, and especially if you have the arrow, you don't have to burn a timeout.
Right. Notre Dame 86% from the line. Three ball hasn't been there for Usher.
And that would be his 10th rebound.
I mean, we just expected him to get there. It's his 17th double-double this season. His 38th of his career. That double-double ties him with Nathan Knight of William & Mary for the nation's lead. It's a couple William & Mary mentions on the broadcast with Rob Balanis' dad, George, having coached there, recruiting G-Men. 28 and 10, 9 of 18. I hope he says something to Kelly Tripucka after the game today. He probably won't. He's a quiet, kind of just goes about his business type of kid. Jogo back in, replacing Pfluger, who makes a couple of free throws. Rex Pfluger, if he stays healthy, he's going to finish his career the all-time games played leader, Notre Dame history.
Like I say, he's the one who gives this group its grit.
Yeah, it's mojo.
Took a big charge earlier in this half.
Rebound tip to Banks. He'll get to no more timeouts for Georgia Tech. 27 seconds left, and Alvarado fouls Hub. Very quiet day for Prentice Hub. 2 points. He does have 4 rebounds and 5 assists. And G-Men, the keys for Josh Pastner, take care of the basketball. By and large, they've done that.
5 turnovers for the game, which is, they're usually up around 16, 17, 18. Well, I wonder if this will be kind of a spark for Notre Dame for the rest of the year.
Well, they've got this 3-game homestand that they're going to start 2-0. They got Pittsburgh coming up this week. And Jeff Capel's team, I think, is good enough to beat anybody and inconsistent enough to get knocked out by anybody. John Mooney gets a well-deserved round of applause here at the Joyce Center. Alvarado trying to add to his line. He does. 25 for Jose. But John Mooney, 34 minutes, 28 points, 10 rebounds. And an impressive all-around performance. A 6-point game with 16 seconds left. And, hey, coming up at 4 o'clock, really good game. They're going to have a raucous crowd at Capital Coliseum.
Yeah, it's an important game for both teams. Florida State. Mike Young has just come in and done a terrific job at Virginia Tech.
How surprised were you by what Tony Bennett and company did to the Seminoles earlier in the week?
Well, I mean, they've been so challenged to score this year. They lost so much from last year, but they can still defend and disrupt you.
Yep.
And
they made the plays down the stretch. Kihei Clark with some clutch baskets, and the Seminoles lost for the first time in 2020. So they're trying to avoid a 2-game losing streak. Virginia Tech also had a hiccup on the road. Interesting matchup between the Seminoles and the Hokies as Gibbs tacks another couple points onto his line. Elijah Morgan gets into the ball game for the second straight here at Purcell Pavilion. A 10-point win over Wake Forest. And what's going to be an 8-point win over Georgia Tech. Kelly Tripucka hanging from the rafters. John Mooney is a Notre Dame legend. And Mike Bray's Fighting Irish improved to 13-8. 80-72. Notre Dame over Georgia Tech.
Well, again, it was so great to be here when Kelly was honored in the way he was. And